Happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. Nate here, Under the Table Brewing. It's been a while. All right, so trying to make good on my promise to do some more footage, but yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. Doing a little closed transfer on a lager. It's been lagering for about a month and a half. We'll say a month. It fermented for. It was probably about a 10-day ferment with the diacetyl rest and everything, and then I just put it into a cold ferment or a cold lager stage, and it's been just going to town there, lagering away. But tonight I'm rocking it to keg, and first time pressure transferring, closed loop transferring a better bottle. This is my buddy's fermenter, but I actually had a brew day last weekend, and it's been a long time since I shot any footage on a brew day. So, got a little footage while I'm racking this over. This is an amber lager, a Centennial Heavy that we did, Centennial Heavy heavily hopped lager that we did at the one of the local breweries. And we took it home and fermented it how we wanted, right? Our own yeast, whatever, dry hops. I did not dry hop it. Kind of wish I would have now at this point, but yeah, it's too far into the game. But we're doing a tasting in a couple of days, so I'm going to burst carb this thing, blast it into carbonation, and then we'll be drinking them on Thursday. So maybe if I get a wild hair, I'll shoot some footage there. Otherwise, enjoy the footage while I rack this beer, and I'll catch up with you on the tail end. All right. Cheers. Where's my beer? I gotta remedy that. Heck yeah. What's up, everybody? Nate here with Under the Table Brewing, and I got a little brew day going. I didn't get much of the early footage, but I'm just doing a little grandfather action. I'm actually brewing a beer for a friend of mine who wasn't feeling up to brewing today, but he was supposed to be here. So it was on my calendar, and I told him I was just going to go ahead and brew his beer anyway, so guess it means it's my beer now. Anyway, it's his recipe. We're doing a chocolate vanilla porter with vanilla beans soaked on rum. It's a recipe he found online, but I had to make some changes because this is for our homebrew club Brewlette, which is where we all drew ingredients, a base malt, specialty malt, hops, hop variety, and a yeast. And the grist has to be 80% minimum of your base grain and then 3% minimum of your specialty grain. His base grain that he chose was Maris Otter, and his specialty grain was chocolate. So he kind of just put it all together and figured it out, found a recipe with those, basically with that as a starting point. His hops that he had were Citra, so it's going to have a Citra bittering, and then we'll lamb it at the end for a small flavor addition. And then what else? It's got some cocoa powder going into it, and a little bit of vanilla extract in the boil as well. And the vanilla beans will go in secondary, so that's cool. And the yeast is Imperial Juice. So shout out to Imperial, which is a sponsor of the BrewTubers Online Brewers Club, Home Brewers Club. I can never remember. When I get the camera on, I can never remember. Anyway, Grandfather's rolling along. We are about 30 minutes into the mash or so, and then in about 15-20 minutes I'll do a mash out, and then run it off to sparge and get this boil going. Yeah, I gotta weigh out some Citra. I gotta get some other stuff done. Gonna be dry hopping a beer. What do we got going on in here besides a mess? I do have a mess because that airlock blew out a little bit, but I've got here is this is a tropical stout, which I'm really excited about. That's my home brew Russian roulette, Home Brewlette beer. And then this is another guy, Joe's. That's his. And we chose to, since he's the vice president and I'm the president of the club, we decided to use the same selections. So we've got 2-row, Special B, Mosaic, and US-05. Those were ours. Those are our pulls for the roulette. So both fermenting on US-05, obviously. Mine has got a lot of specialty grains. He just went with those 2 grains, so his is 97% 2-row and 3% Special B, and then a ton of Mosaic. So he's doing like a, I don't know, I want to say kind of like almost like a West Coast IPA, and the only other malt is Special B. So it's going to be interesting, but the Mosaic I think is going to pull. So that he wants to dry hop that one. He'll dry hop that with Citra and Mosaic. So it should be stellar. And this porter that I've got going now here is smelling fantastic. So it's going to be good. Get some more dark beers on tap. While we're on the topic of that Brewlette, my neighbor Chuck is also in the club, and he needed some space, so his keg of his entry is in my fridge, and he did a black IPA with 97% Vienna malt and 3% Carafa 3. So I think he actually put in a little bit more Carafa 3. Oh, you know what? I screwed up. It wasn't 97. He did 80% Vienna, some percentage of 2-row to balance out the base malt, a little bit of Carapils, and then Carafa 3 to bring the color out. But his hops were Nugget, and his yeast was Voss. So he's got a Voss Kvike fermented black IPA with at least 80% Vienna malt as the base malt. And believe it or not, that beer is delicious. He added some other hops to it, so it's like Enigma and Nugget, and then dry hopped with Nugget and Nelson Sauvin. So pretty rad. It's good stuff. All right, well, I'll try to bring the camera back out in a little bit and give you guys an update on where I am with the brew day, and then get this sucker uploaded for a little Homebrew Wednesday update, since I haven't done jack all, like nothing lately. All right, let's see if we can get that turned around. But anyway, cheers, guys. Happy brew day, and I'll see you in a little while. Boom. For my sanitation needs, I always turn to the brand I can trust, and that's Star San. This is an acid sanitizer, and you dilute it down. It's really kind of a small dilution. I think it's 1 ounce for 5 gallons. So I usually do about 1/5 to maybe just around 1/4 of an ounce, and I do 1 gallon at a time. And then I use that, and then if I notice that it's getting dirty, or usually like when there's a bunch of floaties and stuff, I just dump it out and make a new batch. That way I'm not making 5 gallons every time, which is a lot of water and a lot more effort to move around and that sort of thing. So I just take what I need, and then I always keep a sanitizer bottle handy full of Star San dilution, and then I'm ready to go to sanitize parts or hoses or connections in my beer lines and that sort of thing for my kegs or whatever. So always on the ready with Star San from 5 Star Chemical. Boom. Stuff rocks. Okay, I'm back. Brew day is moving right along. We got a 10:59 pre-boil. It's supposed to be 10:54. So, little higher than I was planning for, but hopefully it doesn't gain too many points. Target gravity on this beer is 1069. So, honestly, probably be right on the money for the target gravity, but time will tell. Let's go take a look. Yeah. It's actually looking pretty good. Yeah. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Gonna take care of some cleanup. Did a sample on the 2 beers that are in the fermenters over here. Dry hop the IPA, and this is the gravity sample from the tropical stout. 8.72%. Bam! It's cool. It's really cool. There's like a tropical fruity hop. It's pretty much buried with the dark malts and the roasted malts, but it does kind of poke through there. What I'm a little bummed about is that it's not sweeter. Final gravity on it was 1019, somewhere like 1018, 1019. I didn't temperature correct, so we'll just say 1018. But yeah, it is not as sweet as I would expect for that high finishing gravity. Oh well. Nice. All right, gonna get back to it. Clean up and just kind of stay on top of that, and do a couple of other things. Get a keg prepared. I'm gonna keg this one. I'm happy with where it is, and then let it do some aging in the keg a little bit for a couple weeks, and then the IPA that's on dry hops, that one will go into a keg on Tuesday. So, yeah, back to business. Cheers. 1 ounce of Citra going in the drink. Interesting bittering choice for a chocolate vanilla porter, I know, but that's part of the challenge. It's part of the experiment here. It's going to be fun. So what we got here is a kind of a syrup of 5 ounces of dextrose, 4 ounces of baking cocoa powder, and about almost 3 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and that's going in the boil at 15 minutes. I'm gonna probably have to mix this back up. It's been sitting. Look at that cocoa. Yeah. Lost the boil a little bit, but that's all right. Boom. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Okay.
So now? Oh.
And a Whirlflock tablet.
Plop.
Plop. Yeah, so the brew day went pretty well. I got the beer in here. It's kind of blowing out a little bit. Not the worst I've seen, but it's beautiful smelling beer. The chocolate and vanilla is really popping out on it. So I made a starter with some Imperial juice, some juice from Imperial yeast, and basically just a vitality starter to get it up and awake, and then pitched it, and that stuff went crazy. I think the starter was raging. It was a pack from June, and the starter was going within like 2 hours. So real happy with that. Activity in the fermenter within 4 or 6 hours or so. And yeah, had a 1067 starting gravity. So hit numbers. Everything looks great. Beautiful color on it. So excited to see how it turns out. So I'll keep you posted on that. But I'm going to jump off. My buddy just showed up, so we're going to rack over another beer and then hang out and just drink 1 or 2. And we'll see you next time. And until then, home brew up. Cheers.